Welcome back, everybody. I am excited to have another Argosy video up for you guys, and this is going to be a good one. Real quick, first, I want to say thank you to my good friends at Simply Safe for sponsoring the video. I'm going to tell you more about that in a little bit. If you're new to the channel, this is a 1976 Argosy Airstream that I have been working on, a labor of love, for 2.5 years, complete from ground up restoration. So a lot, since the last video, a lot has gotten accomplished on the interior, a lot of changes, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. We're gonna focus some first on the door jamb in the shower. This was a very technical woodworking build. I needed to, in the last video, we installed a shower. Basically, I built the shower, fiberglass the pan, built the enclosure, we got that all in. And there needs to be an opening, like a door jamb, right? That holds a curtain so that you can get in and out of the shower. It trims it out, makes it look nice. So we're gonna tackle that right now. And I'm gonna jump into that and start with basically a glue up of the jamb. So it has, any door jamb has a threshold, which is the bottom piece. It has two legs, which are the long side pieces, and then it has a header. And in this case, with the shower, this header has a curve to it. So I'm gluing all that up, getting the basic frame put together, and then we're gonna jump in and tackle the front trim, which will clean it up and make it look really nice. There's a curved piece on top. So let's just jump in right now and get started. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let's get into this. Okay, so I got my pieces milled. I'm working on that first leg, you would call it, of the casing. So one tip that helps in woodworking is when you have a part that has multiple places it has to fit into, so it's just a tight fit, always do your hardest first. So the first thing I did was this scribe. So this is cut kind of at an angle. It's got a slight radius, but mostly angle, and it fits nicely to the ceiling. And we'll worry about, we're fairly flush here, which is good. And then as we go down, obviously this jamb leg here is a little bowed, so this is gonna help. We know that this casing here is a straight line all the way down, so that's gonna help get that aligned. So the next thing I wanna do is make this bottom cut. So I wanna cut the angle. There's a slight angle because that bottom threshold has a slight drop to it, slight angle here, so water runs out. So we'll cut this, I'll mark it, cut it, get it fit in here tight, and then we can cut off. We'll measure here, take that distance, put it here, straight line it, and cut it, and it should, this is a nice even reveal the whole way up. And I know that this edge on this piece is super straight because I jointed it and I ripped it. So we should be able to just straight line it again based off that measurement and get a nice tight fit in here. Okay, so I'm going to jump in and do some voiceover here to help you understand fully what's going on. So this piece is actually getting scribed into place. This is that left leg on the jamb, kind of the casing piece. So we marked a straight line on how much material we needed to take off. It was basically about a heavy quarter to zero. Cut it on my bandsaw after I strike a line, and then I clean it up with a number 7 Stanley hand plane. Quick and easy. You could also take it to your joiner, join it on the joiner instead of using hand plane, but hand planes are a lot more fun.
Too bad.
So once we get the edge cleaned up, now a lot of times in the video it's kind of deceiving because it looks like things happen much quicker, but it sometimes takes multiple times, and I don't always show that. This piece finally got fitted in, and then basically what I did was clamp the two outside leg pieces on with spring clamps, and then took the whole assembly in from there. I got them positioned exactly how I needed them, and then took all that back into the shop. And from there, I was able to cut the final top piece, which is the hardest piece because it's got the curve to it, in the shop. And so I already had kind of a jig out of plywood made that got me real close here. And I'm over at the table saw cutting it to length. Now this is going to be straight, so I'm cutting angles in it right now. And then I know what my curve needs to be. I know how much overhang I need to have. So I'm going to glue it up as just a straight piece and then come back and cut the curve in after it's all glued on. Again, for this, I'm going to use Total Boat epoxy. A lot of moisture in this area, so best to use an adhesive that can handle the moisture, and the epoxy will work well. Started off thinking I would nail it, then realized I'm going to need to clamp this to do it right. And so I got the two legs on, and then this top piece you can see is going to get clamped down last. Okay, let's take a quick break. I want to tell you about today's sponsor, SimpliSafe. Now, I have been working with SimpliSafe for a while, not only as a partner on this channel, but also as a customer. I use their system both in the house and in the shop. I originally seeked out the SimpliSafe system years ago when we got a very hard storm. Speaking of storms, we got some thunder coming. We got one rolling in right now. And when it rains hard on my property, it actually can flood the shop, and it flooded the shop. So I used the SimpliSafe. Through a Google search, I found that they have a water detection system with their system. Now that is just a very small part of what has made this system so awesome to own. Now when the shop flooded, that is a great example of how I really wish that I had had the SimpliSafe system. If I had had it, it would have alerted me both by phone call and on the app on my phone. So I would have gotten a phone call in the middle of the night from the SimpliSafe system. Your water detection monitor has triggered water, and we have an alert. And I would have gone out to the shop and realized there's water flowing into my shop. The system is very easy to set up. Basically, you have a keypad and a base monitor, then you have all the components that hook up to that. I set my system up in about 20 to 30 minutes. Some of my favorite monitors in the system are the HD cameras. I have a doorbell camera that detects motion if anyone enters my property. I also have their outdoor camera set up on the shop, which monitors this whole space right here and the Argosy. So if anyone came up and tried to steal anything from my shop or steal the Argosy, I would have the whole thing on camera. The great thing about their HD cameras is when they detect motion, it sends you a notification on your phone, so you immediately know if someone's at your house. You can pull it up and you can look at the video feed right there and figure out who's at your house. Now, as always, SimpliSafe is offering a great deal to my viewers. So if you need to secure your home, or if you're a woodworker like me and have a shop and you need fire and water protection and theft protection for it, now is the time to sign up. You get 20% off your entire system and your first month free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring plan. Just go to simplisafe.com/Andy Rawls to get that deal now. Link is in the description, super easy to do. A huge thanks to SimpliSafe for supporting the channel, for providing such an awesome product. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so once it's out of the clamps, we just come back with a bottom bearing bit, run that bottom curve. I can just follow the curve that was already there. Full pass cut. It's cypress, fairly soft wood, so it handles it pretty well. And then for the top curve, actually scratch that. Before we do the top curve, I'm going to throw this in the bench vise and take a spoke shape to it and just kind of smooth it out. Sometimes when you use those bearings on soft woods, it can kind of dent the wood and leave tracks, and it looks kind of bad. So I'm going to use a spoke shave here, just take a few passes, clean off any of the messy stuff, make it nice and smooth, and then we'll put it back on the bench. And I've got a 1/4 inch jig I've made that I've basically scribed to the wall, and I've been using that jig throughout this whole build, and it matches the curve of the wall perfectly. So I can put that double-sided tape, stick that onto the workpiece, and then use a top bearing bit to follow that guide, that template, and cut the curve into the actual trim piece. And the little notch you're seeing right there is where that aluminum track goes that connects the sidewall to the top of the trailer wall. Okay, so we've got the shower jamb all painted on the inside with Total Protect. So this is a 2-part epoxy primer paint that will keep any moisture off the woodwork here, which is what we want. This is good. So this is the inside part of the jamb that will be inside the shower. This is all going against the shower. You won't see any of this, but it didn't hurt to protect it as well. So the outside face, what you look at, I want to come back with the orbital and sand this real well. It's gotten a little beat up, and then we want to get this paint that's worked its way over off, and then we're going to seal it with just the varnish. Okay, so that is all installed. Looks great. A little bit of a tight fit, but just really a good thing because I don't really want to put a bunch of screws and everything into this. There's really nowhere to screw into. You can't, this is only 1/2 inch here, so screwing into this, you know, you can bite into a little bit, but there's not a lot, and it doesn't need it. So if you come into the shower, which is a bit tight, you can see the this jamb sticks out past the shower, so you can see that gap there. We're gonna go in and caulk with that Total Boat seal all in around there. Make sure that's all sealed up. Same thing up top. Just get this seam nice and sealed up. It's gonna be difficult. Can't even get a shot in here, but to get anything in there at the angle we're working with. I do have a small tube of that stuff, so hopefully can use that tube. And hopefully once that's dries, that's what's gonna hold this thing in place, and you know, we're good to go. This shower will be ready to use, and everything is nice and waterproof, and I think we're good. Cross our fingers. This jamb here is ready to set as well. There's a little bit of an odd seam here. It didn't, you know, that didn't line up perfect like I was hoping, but that's okay. We can fix that. I think I can tap the jamb over that way. Okay, so with the bathroom shower jamb all done, that was the last really complicated, well, I shouldn't say that. I still have the dinette to build. That's gonna be fairly complicated, but it was the last complicated part of the bathroom section of the Argosy. Once I had that done, I kind of knew I was over the hurdle of the bathroom, and I made a long punch list of things I needed to do, kind of from the back of the camper, from the bedroom, all the way up to the kitchen, just to kind of, there's just so many little things to do to kind of close everything down and try to finish it up. So I just started tackling that, and it's just a lot of little things. And one of the big parts of that was installing all the drawer boxes, cabinet fronts, doors, and drawer fronts, all the components to the cabinets, which I didn't show how I built any of that in the videos. We've been kind of knocking that out over the last 3 months in the shop. Robert helped me a lot with that. I got it all primed, and then basically for the paint, we stuck with the green theme. My wife picked out a really cool green color that kind of matches the wallpaper she picked out in the bathroom, and it also kind of blends with the outside green as well. And the best way to approach the finishing, which I've done on this entire build, is to finish everything out of the camper and then bring it in. Trying to paint all those parts in the camper is a pain, so I tried to do the least amount of painting in the camper. There were some parts of the cabinets that we had to tape off and actually brush on paint. But everything else, all the door fronts, the drawer fronts, the jamb for the bathroom entrance, the bathroom vanity cabinet parts, all that stuff, we sprayed paint on. And it was incredibly surprising how many parts and components there were that had to all get prep sprayed and then installed in the camper. That itself was a good week or more, week and a half worth of work just going through that entire process. Real quick though, I think it'd be cool to share with you guys. This is kind of something I wanted to try. Realistically, I don't know how well it's going to work long term, but I put cane on a lot of the door fronts. It's super lightweight, and I think it looks cool. So I'm going to show you how I did that process. Now, all this being said, there's a pretty good chance after 4 or 5 trips, the cane's going to be destroyed. My kids will probably punch a hole in it. It looks great right now, but I don't know how durable it is. So if it breaks, pretty easy to take the doors out, make a wooden panel, put the panel in, and move on. With that being said, real quick, I want to show you how I installed the cane in the door, and then I want to show you kind of a tour of everything I've gotten done up until this point. I think it'd be cool to see some of the things I've included, some of the little ideas, a lot of things that you've kind of seen build over the course of this restoration that are finally here and in the camper and done. So let's knock this cane out, and then we're going to come back into the camper, and I'm going to show you basically everything I've done. Okay, so for the cane, I want to make it clear that I've never done this before. Just shooting in the dark here, and I came up with my own system. I put a rabbet in the back of all the panels, all the door frames, and then I basically just cut what I would call like a glass stop almost that holds that cane in. And I'm trying to keep the pattern straight. For one, I don't want it to be wavy. I filmed the very first one I did, and it wasn't the best. I got better after I did it a few times. There's a little waviness in this one, but when I put this first piece of stop in and I nail it in, that's going to hold it. And then when I put the second one, I'm trying to pull it fairly tight, and I was able to get most of them pretty tight and locked in place. And the more I did it, the better I got at keeping that cane straight and making a nice clean line. So for the most part, I was pretty happy with how it came out. I will say that it may not be the best material because it reacts to humidity. So I got these all pretty dang tight, put everything in the camper after I installed it. Like the next day, we had a pretty humid day out, and I could see that everything was pretty loose, and it didn't look that great. You know, when that cane's not pulled taut and tight, it just doesn't look good. So like I said earlier, I don't know for how long I'll keep this. I think it looks really cool, but I'm not sure how long I'll keep it going. All the excess just cuts off real easy here with a knife, and then I couldn't do it in a way that I could leave excess on the other sides. It just was weird on how it would fold around those corners. So I just left the length of that opening. Then I nailed in the same pieces like I did here on the side parts, and that just kind of holds everything in place. And I think it looks real nice. I just used a white oak here that has a nice look to the green and also matches some of the woodwork in the camper already. What? Yeah. Okay, so like I said, a lot has gotten accomplished on this back end of the camper, basically 75% of the camper, and I want to just kind of walk you through everything and then show you what we're going to work on next. Honestly, I think we're 1 or 2 videos away from just shutting this down, this series, which it feels good. It's time for it to come to completion. It's taken a long time, and at this point the camper's usable, but we got to get a few more details done. So let me walk you through it real quick here. Okay, so first off, you'll notice these are sticking out. I did make a bit of a bad judgment call. I assumed that I could find some hardware. So I've got push to open hardware, so it's just a magnetic catch that will push that open, which works great. You know, these aren't going to open as I drive, but I thought I could find them for the drawers, but I can't find any yet that work. So I've got to come up with a system now I don't want to put handles on it to keep those from opening. I'll figure that out. Don't worry about that. Well, let's go all the way back to the back. Not much has honestly changed back here other than we added the drawer. So there's a drawer right here under the bed that will pull out. I've got drawer fronts. That will be a fold down hinged little door that you could stuff goods down back in there. There's quite a bit of storage down under there. Real quick while I'm back here, this is a cool little sneak peek of what's going to be happening coming up. This is cork that is going to go on this wall, the bathroom, towards the bathroom. So we'll be doing that in the next video. That should be pretty cool. So I've already got that ordered, sitting on deck. I had to cut a relief here, so I'm going to have to build out a little bit here. This is another thing that I'm going to talk about in another video, but probably the biggest mistake I made was putting these floors in. They move a lot, and they split open at the seams pretty badly. I fought with it, and finally I just cut this cut here so I could move the flooring and lock it all back together. I've had to do it in multiple spots. You can see in here in the bathroom, this one right here, that's kind of what you get, that gap. It's really annoying, and I wish I hadn't used that floor, but you can't go back now. So one of the cool things I did in the cabinets, all the bottom doors are on removable hinges. So they've got these little pins. You just push these in and it actually will release the door. So I can pull this door off real easily, and then I can get under here in my storage. I can work on things. It's really, I think, going to be a super helpful feature. And putting them back on, you just pop down, the pins catch, and the door's back. So I think that's pretty cool. I did that on all of the bottom doors all along here. Makes for easy access. These are just solid panels here. There's going to be a vent for heat right here. So the vent, there's a vent at the end of my kitchen. There's a vent here, and then there will be a vent right here. I still have to build this cabinet. I think I'm going to do that next. There's a little upper cabinet, so this is going to be a tight little bunk space right here. And obviously the next thing too is we're going to make trim pieces to cap all these corners off and make them nice and pretty. Bathroom wise, I am working on this right now. This is the final trim work for this shower wall, and this is just matching. This is cypress that'll match the shower jamb that we did in this video, and it looks great. All this still needs to be kind of tidied up and installed, but you know, this, I think the cypress matches well with the red elm veneer and with this green color. So we'll get a bar right here, and then I'll put a cool curtain in, and that'll take care of that. Shower will be usable pretty good. Hey, there's my family. End of the day Friday. The vanity here, you know, I wish I had, honestly, these should have been sliding doors. I didn't really want to take the time to figure all that out, so they're a little bit annoying because they open up into this tight space. So if you're in here, you kind of have to open this one, or move over here and open this one. It is what it is. These two will be drawers. I haven't installed those, and those are just open cubbies down there. The bathroom, other than this door, which I'm going to build here real soon to close it off, is pretty much done. This is all pantry space, so we'll be able to store food in here. Just finished up this cool little control panel right here. So this has a vent. These slotted these vents. Hey!
Any leftover taffy?
Oh, Candy, thank you. You got a lot left over. That looks yummy. How was school today?
Good.
Awesome.
So is Mr. Robert here?
Nope, he's gone.
Okay.
We got to get ready for Judd's party.
Yep. Mama, I'll put on my swimsuit and then I'll put on.
Yeah, so this is where the control goes. This is my battery monitor. This will monitor the tanks. Like I said, I got vents here we put in. It looks real cool. This is all just cypress veneer that we put over this, and just a nice clean look. And the reason for the vents is this fridge actually puts out some heat. So when you turn this thing on, man, you can feel the heat flowing out of here. It kind of helps this fridge get vented out. And I will put a door here, probably. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it as an open shelf. I haven't decided. It looks so cool like that. So it's kind of want to leave it. That one still needs a door as well. We still have to build that. You got a little bit of storage down here. Opens up, you got access to your plumbing and all that good stuff. Same thing is going on down here. I still have to work on the stops and the closers and all that for this, but you know, you can just open, oh, I don't know what that's all about. You can open this up, you got the same hinges, you can pop this off, you can access it. Really, when you open this, all you're gonna see is two vents coming through right here, because that's what the heat vents go right through that hole. That's the passage for them. This is a false front. This is a little drawer So you got, I think I did a little chop job on that. I should have done better work there. You got a drawer here, you got a drawer here, and then you got a double drawer here, which needs some adjustment. So you got that, and then you got a little one inside of it. Pretty solid. All right, that's gonna shut it down for this video. Like I said, I really do think I'm 2 videos away from shutting this series down. There's always gonna be a few videos in the future. I have some long-term goals and plans for this thing, and there will be videos on that. But as far as this series goes, I think I can do it in 2 more videos. We got the dinette space to do here, and I want to do a video on the upper cabinets. I do want to do as well an overview of the whole build, the mistakes I made, things I would do differently, the money I spent, the budget, all that. I'd love to share that with you guys. I think that'd be good information for anyone interested in taking on one of these projects, which, good luck. It's a rough ride, trust me. As always, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think on this video. Also, don't forget, I sell merch. It helps support the channel, helps support all the effort I put into it. So if you want, go over there and grab one. If not, that's cool too. I still love you guys, and I still appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time.